We are back in another 5 minutes. So, last 5 minutes, well, you already know the show, so I don't know why I go for this the whole time, but if you don't know and you're a newcomer, 5 minutes is 5 minutes of time. 5 minutes are all I have. 5 minutes is everything that you have in order to explain which character pops up when you press the button, the blue button, the randomized button. Which original character can you explain within 5 minutes? You have to explain it within 5 minutes. If you can't, that's a bummer. You have to go back. Well, there's no real rule to. We should think of a punishment for that. I need some motivation. Anyways, that's regardless for that. Let's go. Let's start with the video. 3. And then we're off. Oh, this one's easy. They threw me a bone with this one. Alright. So, we got the leader of the Deadly Dragons. This guy is dangerous. He's also inspired by Kano. I mean, that's literally half of his name, but regardless, he's inspired by Kano. He is a very, very important character within the mythos of the universe. He is very important. He's the leader of the Deadly Dragons, which has very important characters as well as Jackie Purple's family. One of Jackie Purple's family members are in the Deadly Dragons. So that's gonna cause some conflict. Of course, it's gonna cause some conflict. It's gonna cause some. It's gonna make the story very interesting by far. Is there anything else? Alright, so Bobbo has this sort of laser technology, and they're not chest. Is it eye? I think it's the eye. Yeah, I think it's the eye. Bobbo has some sort of technology that allows them to shoot lasers at their eyes. So, there's that. You're pretty much going up against Cyclops now. Whatever. No X-Men. Anyways, what else is there? Huh. Is that it? No. Alright, so into his personality, alright? Bobbo is an antagonizing character, right? I feel a theory of mine is that Jackie Purple learned his smugness, his arrogance, his aggression, his attitude, his everything from not only his parents, but I feel like Bobbo really influenced him, influenced the sort of personality that overrides Jackie Purple to this day. And so Bobbo Kano is the one that he also has an influence over Jackie Purple's family. Now this hasn't came up in anything except the canon. I know that I'm starting to write the canon down, and I started to figure out how this story is working, and it's turning out. I'm on the second chapter. We're going places. That's all I'm saying. We're going places finally, people. Anyways, so Bobbo has connections to not only Jackie Mel Purple's prior family, I'm talking about his parents, but his sort of new family. I'm talking his sons, his daughters, his wife. And then I'm talking about his animatronics because Bobbo supplied him with the technology or the supply. He supplied him with the resources needed to create such powerful animatronics. He didn't, and of course, he didn't know about it, but well, it's debatable on whether Bobbo knew about it or not, but he obviously didn't know the potential of, the full potential of Jackie Mo Purple with these powerful relics or resources or whatever. And yeah, that's, that's gotta, this guy has a lot. Alright, that's all the time left. Let me see if I missed anything, because I'm doubtful, but I could have missed something. So let me just go back. Oh, I haven't put in the new picture. Don't worry, I got a picture. I already showed it to you guys on the channel, right? I think I have. Let me check. It's in the community tab. You might want to check that out if you want to. Yeah, I have already I already shared some sort of previews to, well, references to my other characters, right? Some pictures, some AI pictures of what AI interpretive of my characters that they were they were good enough representations of characters that I just rolled with it and just said that that's how they look now, and I'm gonna like that's gonna influence the stories because we know how much designs work. So instead of them having like a metallic eye because of the influence from Kano and whatnot from Mortal Kombat, if you didn't know, they now have these sort of green glowing eyes, and it kind of grew on me because I originally really wanted them to have like one white eye and one red eye, like I wanted like glowing red and then glowing white, and wanted to see how that worked out. And then with the black rings, let me see if I actually got that in. In the picture, I didn't get that in, but that's gonna definitely have some more to it as well. It's just depending on who it's connected to and what powers do those even possess. Or is that Kano's goal? Bobbo. Is that Bobbo's goal? In fact, it could be Bobbo's goal to collect all of those rings and then put them on his fingers. And maybe that supplies him with power. Maybe that supplies him with riches. Maybe that supplies him with materials. All that I'm saying is the fact that, well, design matters and design is important, but it also gives us lore. Those rings are gonna come back. I already got some ideas on how I already have some ideas on the Deadly Dragons and why they were created. And how are they not taken down yet? We'll say that. Yeah. Anyways, that was a lot. I know. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Okay, so this is Mike's mother. I think, yeah, this is Mike's mother. So, if you didn't know, last time we talked about the superhuman world with the toy maker. I suggested the idea of there being, like, we're starting off the story, and off the bat, there's 30 heroes jumping into battle against a whole, like, regular army. Let's say the US Army is going up against 30 heroes. They get massacred. Like, both teams have losses. Both teams lose blood. What I'm saying is blood is spilled, all right? And then after the final opponent gets knocked down, from, like, I'm talking like the heroes lose, right? The final hero takes their stand and tries to do anything, but it's all in vain. They get gunned down. And then we swap to the protagonist with their sort of condition. We swap to the protagonist, who is Mike, and their whole reason for being there in the first place. Mike is a interviewer. They do interviews to people that want to be heroes. If they want to be heroes, they gotta go through her. Sorry, I keep on forgetting that Mike is a her because the girl the girl looks. I mean, they look like a man, bro. I don't know why I made them that way. I just did. I'm honestly debating on making them gender fluid or something. Am I even using the right proper terminology for? It's not important to their story. Mike's parents used to be rich, right? They used to be rich from their stellar jobs, but they got a disease that they couldn't get off, right? Like, they couldn't go to work anymore. They couldn't provide for their family anymore. So they had to move out from their original home and get a cheaper home instead, an apartment. And instead of them being the ones caring for Mike, it's Mike caring for them. And Mike is having trouble going through the process of going throughout the neighborhood, looking for anyone or anybody to do a job for. Went through the interview process and failed. Or if you even pass, 1 week goes by, you get fired. You get one paycheck if you're lucky. Then Mike sort of found a miracle. Sort of interview for an interviewer. So apparently they're not the first interviewer for heroes as a whole, or at least the heroes that are being made by Mr. Russ. I know it is so complicated, but yeah, Mikerella is just a parent that has a disease that is needing of help, and that one of the motivating factors of Mike's story and why she's even in the whole hero's place, why she's even watching fighting happen. Alright, let me check if I got that right. Like I said, it's Mike's mother. Both her and her husband have a disease that naturally makes them weak, and they get tired easily. And this disease is incurable. So yeah, anything I didn't say was like either meaningless or you could have inferred that for yourself. Both of their diseases. Because of both of their diseases, it is almost impossible to do their jobs. So their son, Their son? So even I was confused about their gender back then, even when I was making their character. Let me just don't mind me, just do that. There we go. Nothing even happened. Nothing happened. It is almost impossible to do their jobs, so their daughter, Mike, has to work to provide for their family's needs. Like I said, this is just a picture of her, and yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. I didn't miss anything. I feel like that's the first one where I haven't missed a single thing. So let's go for 3 for 3. Let's go for 3 for 3. Let's go 3 for 3. And let's go. Oh gosh. Okay. This is like a niche character. So we're back in the universe where Bobbo is the one that's right under the character we just got. So I'm pretty sure this guy isn't in any groups in particular, so his faction is neutral, if you want to be technical. He could be in the, oh man, I don't think he's in the Deadly Dragons, but he could be, to be honest. But this guy is just a man with a laser sword. Now I know a guy with a laser sword. It seems a bit intimidating on paper, but trust me, this guy ain't. This guy is not threatening whatsoever. He I feel like it would be funny to have him like Deadpool or Peacemaker or whatever, where they're more about they're kind of I'm not saying those characters are bad. Their jobs, they're like comedic with their jobs or whatever. They don't treat it seriously like other fictional assassins do or regular assassins do. They're just, I mean, quite frankly, they're not in the right state of head. But regardless, I don't think this guy's an assassin. I feel like this guy is just a regular dude that just found a laser sword and just up and stole it. I don't know why. This guy just stole a laser sword and just pulls it out just to look cool. But he doesn't have any fighting experience. And I already have a story where I know where to put this guy in. He's gonna be with Nightmare and whatnot. Nightmare? Alright, since I have a lot of time, let's just talk about Nightmare. Nightmare is sort of this just this guy, right? He's kind of a kid version of Batman, to be honest. That's my piece. And then once you add the comedy of, well, the weakness of Saber slash, or like, I don't even know why he came up with that. But once you add that, you're gonna have a interesting duo. We'll say those guys go up. Well, we'll say. I would say Nightmare and Saber Slash would team up eventually to go up against the smaller threats, right? Because there are street level villains in like one city where their superpowers are like unheard of. I mean, there are superpowers, it's just not as common. I mean, are there superpowers? I feel like it would be better if there weren't any superpowers. Like, that would be like just that one city where you could go and there's no superpowers whatsoever. A city without superpowers and a world full of superpowers. Just a bland city. And those two are the ones roaming the street at night. That's crazy. So we're gonna have the sort of comedy with this character, and then we're gonna have the serious, the quiet, the darkness, the beatdowns, the breaking points, the brutality, sheer and force. We're gonna have all of that in Nightmare Story. And that's it. So let's go to Saber slash. I'm pretty sure I'm right, but let me see. Yeah, I'm right. Okay, so he doesn't have. Oh, all right. I'm not right. he's the best with the sword, so he has. So he doesn't have no experience. I would say he's still pretty goofy though. I wouldn't say he's the best ally. And in a world, well, in a city where there's no superpowers, that's the most super you're gonna get. And you're talented with that sword? Okay, you got it, bud. And then let's talk about Nightmare real quick, cause Nightmare. So this is Nightmare. I'm probably gonna give him a better design or, well, he looks okay. He looks like he's just taking a bullet. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? What if he... What if he was all armored and and someone just broke it like that? And this is like the result. That would be interesting. But anyways, those two guys are going to be paired in that story. So that's nice. Let's see who else we got. Oh, goodness. Okay, let's talk about this guy. I'm not even gonna try and say their name. I think it's a girl. I'm not sure. I don't even. I remember this guy's from. This. They are from Jaylabzip's universe. But instead of him being in the current version of the universe, they're a past a past person. Like they're they aren't in the current version of this. Well, not the current version of the story, but the current version of the timeline. So there's like present day, and then there's characters like these. We call them the artifact warriors. Like, I'm thinking when the overlord wasn't even a threat anymore. So we're talking like the overlord, C, Jaylabzip, or Seika. Those two are the same. Anyways, all those characters, that's the universe we're talking about here. So this is the one where I'm adapting to the most. So this is one of the artifact warriors that are like, they're like legends, yeah. Legends that have already lived, right? And the overlord hasn't even been a threat yet. They they are the creators of the overlord's weapon, right? Yeah, they're the creators of the overlord's weapon, and the overlord um just stole it, right? They as we well, I think we've talked about this a lot, but I mean, in the channel, we've talked about this so many times, but the overlord didn't earn their power, they stumbled across it. So, the zombie summoner, I think it's pretty safe to say that they can summon in zombies, but on how they do it, they have this sort of I'm thinking there's like this container for this, but they have this sort of brain, right? A literal like zombie brain where they can like summon the dead to fight by their side. So I think that's the most unique piece or unique part to their sort of story. That and they're an artifact warrior that has lived. Wait, no. Wait a minute. I messed up. Alright. So, these guys, the artifact warriors, aren't the ones that created the dimensional weapon. I'm sorry. They're the ones that fought against the creators of the dimensional weapon. It's a mouthful. Hang on. So they were the hooded figures and they were the artifact warriors. And those guys butted heads together because of their, well, they kind of, well, I would say their experiments, their methods, their success rate, their, like, the artifact, no, the hooded figures aren't the best in, while they are good with their skills and their accomplishment of actually creating that dimensional weapon is beyond genius, but it doesn't mean that they always had that success rate. So the artifact warriors had to deal with them. Alright, let me see how much I got right. Okay. Okay, it is a she. She puts it in a jar. Okay, so I said container, same thing. So she can summon any type of zombie with some brain she put in a jar, and as long as she has that on her, she can summon. She can use her zombie abilities. Is the person that finds and creates the artifacts the legendary warriors? Like, okay. Oh, yeah, it literally says she creates the artifacts that legendary warriors like like Tail, Kerber, and herself to use to defend the town from dangerous threats. So she wasn't so she finds and creates certain artifacts. She's a witch that found and created artifacts to protect. So this is like the prior state of Sepako. This wasn't even Sepako. Sepako was created by the Overlord 1,000 years ago, and this is like a longer time than that because the Overlord wasn't the Overlord. They haven't gotten the scepter yet, and by now the dimensional weapon has only been tested a few times before. So the dimensional weapon and the Overlord haven't really came to fruition yet. So I'm glad this is really giving us a timeline. So there's that 1,000-year gap where the Overlord, like, they had their triumph. They did whatever they wanted because the dimensional weapon allowed them to, but the dimensional weapon doesn't exist yet. So the artifact warriors are still here. They're still alive. They're still, living. And I feel like, hear me out, what if the Overlord develops and then kills the artifact warriors? What if he does that? If I haven't already confirmed that he does that, that's a good strategy. If he kills the artifact warriors, that would make sense for his character because he would have to, like, those are the main threats. Those are just regular heroes. They're artifact heroes. These guys are like what Zeus and Hermes and Poseidon and Hades, all these gods to Greeks, and what Zeus was to the Greeks, and what Thor was to the Norse people. What, like, all these different gods, these heroes were to the people in this past town that hasn't gotten a name yet. I still need a name for that. So anyways, let me just... Oh, goodness, that's a mouthful. Anyways. Final one. What happened? No. Let's do that again. There we go. Oh, alright, this guy is actually in the new rebooted sort of. I'm saying rebooted, like, because I've already done the dimensional story before, but I mean, not the dimensional story. I've done Jaylabzip slash Sakeup's story, but this is different because this is like a sort of entity now. So Maz is sort of this god. They're a god in Jaylabzip's universe? I'm thinking so, yeah. They're a god of Jaylabzip's universe that has. Oh, what can they do? I'm pretty sure they can make they're the ones that. So actually, this is convenient because those artifacts that our previous character found were probably created by Moss himself. He's the one that created all of and started all of those. He's the one that started the artifacts. The zombie witch lady, they're the one that they're the ones that found them and gave them to the legendary artifact heroes, artifact warriors to fight and defend their home. What else did he do? He also had this. You cannot talk about Moss without talking about Pero. Or I don't know how you say it. And I made the name. I know. It doesn't make sense. Mars is sort of this. Has a sort of follower. That's called a Pero. This follower has the ability to manipulate shadows to a significant degree, which only grows higher with Moss's ability to enhance. So they gave him a boost, pretty much. And his follower is trying to. Well, it's sort of like a. So. Maz and Pero are two people. Pero isn't really on Maz's side. They're trying to find a way to betray him. They're trying to, like, break through a movable object, but every single way he sees, it's kind of impossible to, like, break through him because he's a god. What is he gonna do? So what he's planning to do is, well, he's betraying everyone because Pero and Maz are both sort of like, not even, they're working for the Overlord, the like the main antagonist of this whole, well, not this whole series, the series for that universe. I can't. It's so there's so much you have to emphasize with this. So Pero, it's like a war. Somewhat. You only make allies so you don't fight each other, right? So you don't have to cross paths with each other. So you don't have to break each other. So they work together, and then Pero's plan was to, like, find a way to come out on top, pretty much. And that's everyone's goal. That's Pero's goal. That's Moss's goal. That's the Overlord's goal. They're trying to do one up on each other. So we're pretty much dealing with a god of artifacts, I'm guessing, at least. And with that, let's check. I said literally all of this, like, word for word. Another one of the many gods in Jaylabzip's universe, and is the one who made the weapons of the artifact warriors, and is original. I probably meant to say is one of the original. That lived throughout. See. Oh, I forgot he could do that. So I incorporated mods earlier than I was supposed to. In the original canon, Jaylabzip, we already know the story. The Overlord, Jaylabzip, and C. Those were the only three characters in the story. Now we're just adding all of these different characters and putting them all into this story. It was only the Overlord, C, and Jaylabzip. Only those three. There wasn't Jacaerus, there wasn't Peril, there wasn't Moss, there wasn't Michael, there wasn't Waname. All of these different characters have came for the canonical. This is the okay. So this is the first one. The first one, the uncanonical, the almost fan fiction, is it's saying like so. Jaylabzip killed the C killed the did he kill the Overlord? No, yeah, he did. Alright, C did he kill the Overlord? I'm pretty sure he did. So C killed the Overlord. The Overlord led him. Then he killed everyone in Zapaco. Then he injured Jaylabzip and gave him the dimensional curse. Remember, that's gonna come in later, but don't worry about that now. He gave him the dimensional curse. Then came Jaylabzip's want for revenge. That revenge. Well, we gotta go to his curse. We gotta go back to his curse. His curse bends. Well, it holds him. Well, it keeps him alive pretty much. Every time he dies, he gets sent to a different dimension. And since there's infinite dimensions, he cannot die. Unless the curse is taken away from him. So, on his endless years later, he finally finds a way to make a different dimensional weapon. He creates the dimensional weapon and he goes back to C to finish the job, only for the Overlord to finish it for him. Then the Overlord and Jaylabzip have a good fight that ultimately starts the collapse of the multiverse. That fight alone. But let's go back a bit. We're going back to his years his years of vengeance. Those years were probably included this event where Mars was not one of the other gods that he slain within the other dimensions with his countless weapons that he had to have collected throughout the dimensions, throughout the endless adventures that he must have had. Of course, he's gonna have a god slaying one. Anyway, but he is able to, and we're talking about the god of artifacts here. He's able to warp the definition of a common sense to create said artifacts. He's able to literally warp common sense. I feel like that's underutilized. We're gonna have to go back to that character and reincorporate that into his playstyle, or at least not playstyle. I mean his story. We're gonna have to at least mention it or something. Mentioned if he lost his ability, or mentioned how, like, maybe Pero's trying to get to know Maz. We're getting some backstory to the both of them, and then we slowly slid in that detail of Maz slowly becoming weaker because of his past and a mistake he made. Maybe he made a mistake, and that costed him his overpowered ability to literally warp reality, right? But now he's just the god of artifacts. I forgot to breathe for a second. Anyways, that is it. 5 characters, 5 minutes, and I'll see you later. Bye.